Alright, how is my physical audio? Can you hear me okay, Punk? Trying without the music as well. Yeah, for some reason, OBS decided to glitch out on me, and I'm not quite sure why. So I'm just testing the features out again, before I get started. I do apologize, I had to reset this thing twice. Great. How is the music compared to my voice? Can you hear my voice more clear than the music, but still hear the music? Great, and is my computer visible as far as me moving the mouse around and just kind of quick sketching here? I'm using orange, so I'm not sure how visible it is on the teal, but if you can see it and it's not lagging too much, we might be okay to continue. Is there any lag going on for the art side of things? Let's see if I can minimize my content window here so I can see what's going on in the restream channel as well. Should be okay, but I'm not sure. Great, how's your week going? Anything interesting happen? I've been kind of in the same boat. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think it's glitching a little bit. I'm doing what I can to resolve it, but I think I might just have to play it by ear and see what happens. If for whatever reason it shuts down completely, though, and I haven't seemed to be aware of it, then just comment on the community tab and I'll see what I can do. I'm just doing some sketches, and while we wait to see how stable the stream is, just figuring out the hairstyles for my characters before we do lessons on how character rotation works. We're really getting close to the release of the trailer. I just have to get some of the voice actors to re-record their lines. I can't wait to show the community what I've been working on for the past 4.5 years in like an actual constructed vision and not just these sketches. Yeah, for the last 3.5, 4 years, I've been developing a web series behind the scenes, and I've talked about it a little bit, but I don't want to give too much away because I want to try to actually gain traction for it. But I had reached out to Makeshift, and Makeshift might actually want to make some plush toys for us as well. So I'm thinking alongside the launch of the trailer when I eventually get that done. I might see if I can launch the plush toys. I don't know how many people will actually be interested, but I'm hoping to. It feels so nice just to be able to know that all of my work is paying off in some manner. You know, we're pretty much there. We're getting the trailer ready so we can get interest. But as far as a full pilot episode, I'm hoping that the actual trailer will gain a significant enough traction that we can fund the production of episode 1 properly. And maybe get some kind of attention on it. But I really am excited for the potential of releasing a plush toy. I have like maybe 67 followers here, but you know, if all of them ultimately like the trailer when it comes out, then I see no harm in releasing a plush toy alongside some of the designs, because I've had ideas in the back of my head for a while. I am very, very excited though. I'm not sure if YouTube will demonetize or take down the show, so I've already preemptively found a backup location just in case. The trailer will be fine, I'm positive, but given the amount of content that'll be covered, I'm not sure what YouTube's going to actually ban when we start production. I just cannot wait. I am so eager. Yeah, it's going to be a very dark series, but I'm very excited for it. There's not nearly enough animation for people who are like in the adult category that covers heavy subject matter. And I just absolutely am enthralled by Primal and now Unicorn Warriors Eternal. And I really hope, even though we're going to probably never be anywhere close to that, that this is kind of like another stepping stone. Oh, I'm not worried about the copyright. I'm worried more about demonetization due to content. And if somehow the content is going to be taken down for violating like violence and nudity rules, even though it's animated, because there's very, very much going to be a lot of gore. There's going to be a lot of dark messaging, a lot of stuff that I don't know how YouTube will respond to it. So I've created other platforms to have it for viewing as well, that eventually when things start going up online, I'll know I'll be able to use them if I have to. We have legal copyright stuff already in place, so I'm not really worried too much about that. You know, I've already registered the studio, I've already registered the show and the musician, because we have our own person who's working on music for the show, and he does phenomenal work. I'm very excited to have him with us. All of the art and character designs have already been copyrighted. I own full copyright of everything on this show, so I could literally legally fight back if anyone did. I'm just very worried that YouTube's going to consider it too graphic. Hey, welcome to the channel. How are you doing, Dora? Oh, we got a lot of people here. Welcome, Hound. It's great to have you here, too. We're doing character design sketches and studies. And just chatting about the upcoming trailer for the web series that I'm developing. It's great to have people here. I don't see too many people actually come on my stream, so I'm very excited. It's great to have y'all here. How are all of you doing, and what have you been up to this weekend? Oh, congrats. I hope that the weather clears up enough that you're able to actually get that done. No, I use Photoshop actually. I've never been really able to get an Eclipse Studio because my work doesn't really allow me to work with it. So I entirely just use Photoshop. Oh, whoops, I broke his hand. Yeah, it's Photoshop. I've worked with Photoshop for over 15 years now in variations. Now I use it for work, but I used to use it all the time just for fun. So I do all of my work here unless I'm asked to use Toon Boom Harmony or a 3D program. Yeah, so I'm drawing Elijah right now. Elijah is the lead, and he is a little bundle of joy, genuinely. He is about 25 years old and primarily works as the seer of his community. He's an adorable little being who is very, very over empathetic. Right. See if the music is still playing. I used to. I haven't in a long time, mostly just because I've found Tapas and Webtoons physically have kind of not updated their actual physical app in a long time, and it kind of makes it a little bit janky. But I do read regular comics. Like, I'm a big fan of anything that IDW has managed to create for their comic series, especially as far as like the MLP stuff are actually really, really good, and people don't give them enough credit for like being a comic company that's based in doing licensed work. They do incredible stuff. I believe they did some of the Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff as well. But the last regular comic I wrote, or read rather, was Property of Hate many, many years ago. I haven't really read anything since then, as far as independent creators go. Is there any particular ones that you would suggest? I'm really roughing these out. I should be pacing myself just a little bit, but I'm not, and I'm sorry about that. Oh, thank you. I'm very much just thumbnailing them in. I'm not, I'm just kind of roughing them in right now. I actually work as a storyboarder full-time. The hardest for me is actually the profile view. For whatever reason, for years and years, I've never been able to do profiles. And feet. Feet are also very, very difficult. And it's weird because it's not like the anatomy lessons that I was learning didn't teach me. It's just that my brain can't process it properly all the time. Now I gotta get in and try to get the mouth drawn properly. Are you guys able to see everything properly while I'm erasing? Or should I use a different color? Well, I'm not terribly good at it myself, but Elijah's actually a boy, so it's pretty easy for me. He just has a singed waist a little bit. I've had female designs before, but I don't draw them too much because I just don't like the extra extra stuff I have to go through to make the silhouettes look nice. So I try to keep my characters kind of more on the design neutral side of things, so that it's more about knowing their personalities than knowing specifics. But Elijah's kind of funny because everybody assumes a lot about his design because he does dress very feminine, and it's one of the things I love about him, actually. But there are great ways to study that sort of stuff, right? Like, character design is a very important part of learning to draw, and people tend to not really think too much about it because they'll develop their own style as they go. Because it's not about the style itself, it's about understanding the principles. So when drawing any character, the base of it is understanding what the shapes are. I have the queen's design here somewhere, but I don't really think her shapes are quite what you're looking for, because my struggles are more on the heavier side of character design. But I'll show her. This is her over here, or at least the rough of her. She's more pear-shaped, and it was intentional. So her shapes and most feminine character designs are based around the idea that at least their hips are visible, regardless of the rest of the forms on their body. So for her base shapes kind of look like... I'm just drawing over my design sketch, because I'm lazy. And I've done tons and tons of sketches of her in the past, but her base is just this shape here, with her arms being very much these more heavy, pudgy arms. And this is the kind of stuff I struggle with, is making characters who have like really exaggerated proportions. If you're really wanting to study specific ways of managing that sort of stuff, Pixar has an entire character design archived library that I can link that is just phenomenal for this kind of stuff. Even just typing in TV character designs into Pinterest really yields some incredible results. You know, that's how I look for a lot of the design concepts that I do, is I try to study how other people have managed them, and just kind of work from there. Alright, I'll leave the references here, I guess, if you want, for a minute or two. I will say till about 12:15. If you want me to scroll down or try to find, like, breakdown stuff, I guess I can. Because these designs are more leaning on anime. I more do Western, but, it might help. What, this character? Or the character you're drawing? Because I can't see anything you're drawing. But there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of characters, depending on their age, look a lot more androgynous. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, Elijah here, he has a very feminine body type. And I did that intentionally, Using the idea of character shapes to help express what that character is about can be really important. So just because it might look more what people might consider masculine doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. People come in a variety of shapes and sizes. It's all about how you choose to accessorize that character and how you choose to display what their personality is, I'll bring up the reference page again. Because even if I pull out, like, the Disney character charts, a lot of them, unless they're really, really young, or they're part of the more movie side of the setup, you'll find a lot of them, the only really, truly distinguishing feature is, like, the shape of their eyes. And even here with Molly's design, I don't think any people would have really ever thought about whether or not she was presenting differently just by the swoop on the front of her eye, because every character design shape for the show has this similar eyelid shape. So it's just about displaying the correct features. Like if I'm going to save that one. Same goes for a lot of them. It's all about knowing what your character's personality is. Whoops, I had my mic on there. I think one of the best examples of feminine character design is to look back at the early 2000s when we had all of these animated properties that were based off of the girl toys that used to exist. I'm personally a fan of the Angel Friends designs because it really helped kind of push some more interesting shapes, and it really has a simplified design for it. So if you want to keep it simple and kind of have an idea of what might be a good way to handle it. This show is definitely one to go to, along with things like Winx Club. These earlier designs really just, oh, they're gorgeous all around, just absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to find a rotation sheet for you. This is pretty good, but it's kind of blurry. Can I find a less blurry sheet for you? There we go. Here, I'll leave this up for a bit to help you kind of study the shapes. And then, I'll put a timer on. And then we can go from there. Do you think 8 minutes will be enough time? I have no idea where its origins are from. I know it came from a comic book originally. It has a pretty decent premise. And like a lot of shows from the early 2000s, it really pushed character shapes to make them unique because they were forced to work with whatever the model of the actual toy was. Same thing goes for the 80s, but that's not really as much of a point. But it's all about shapes and figuring out what kind of works, what kind of doesn't. Yeah, so Tora, let me know when you're done studying this one and I can switch to another one. But this kind of gives you an idea of a more simplified way of handling it. Be careful what you read online about it. I just love the design concept. I think they're really, really sharp. And it's one of the shows that kind of inspires a lot of the way I handle my show. And just shape language as a whole. The concept art is gorgeous, but the actual animation of the show is kind of sad. Are you feeling like this is good for the moment? Can I switch back to my Photoshop? Oh, Toro was looking at the design references to see if they could figure out how to draw things better. Not that I'm aware of. There was some, like, issues with the way the content was produced on the actual animation side of things. But the show itself, you know, it just was one of those shows that had a limited run, as far as I'm aware. There could be something that actually happened, and it definitely does, but I don't know off the top of my head if there was any controversy outside of, like, the people who actually developed the show. Just to confirm, I'll pull up a picture of Angel Friends in the concept phase to make sure we're actually looking at the same thing. Is this the kind of character designs that you saw while you were over there? Because I don't think there was, but I could look into it. Usually if there's drama all these years later with a series, it's because there was something weird going on. And I'm talking not related to the actual contents of the show, but like if there were things going on behind the scenes. It doesn't look like there was anything big. There was no controversies outside of the content of the show. Maybe the comics had an issue? Yeah, it just didn't perform well as far as I can tell. Oh, well, this is the one I'm referring to. Yeah, I guess sure, give it a shot. I don't know if it'll work, but worth a shot. This is the one I was referring to, though. Yeah, they have the same name in both versions, I do believe. Can't seem to see your other comments. I'll have to see what's going on there. Oh, this is just a website. Yeah. This is the same show. It's just that these are the concept arts that you're seeing. The animation's not great, but it was a very cheaply produced show, and it did seem to look like it had comics and stuff. Why did you think there was a controversy going on? Because this is just a re-upload channel that's probably just trying to archive things. No, it's just a regular show. I don't know how long my mic was off for, but it's, other than the content of the show, there's nothing really controversial about it. It's just a remnants of the early 2000s. Um, so I can't say whether or not I would really consider it problematic. It's been a while since I've watched it, but there's a difference between actually genuinely problematic and just things that happened as a result of the time period. Um, I'm gonna do a few more drawings of my boy, and then I'll move on to another character. I almost thought about doing the monster form that I have for him, but I'm thinking I might save it for the release of the trailer because I don't want to give too much away, but I'm not sure yet. There's only like 3 of us here anyway. No worries, I'll be streaming till 4, but I might take a quick coffee break if that's okay with everybody. As always, I'll leave a timer on if I am going to be gone. There's always gonna be studio drama. It depends on what that studio drama is, and that really will define whether or not it's actually real drama, or if it's just something being blown out of proportion. There's a big difference between something like the rumors you hear on Gravity Falls versus the rumors you hear about production that occurred on SpongeBob. There's a very big difference between those two, and I think the same could be said of a lot of early 2000s shows. When it comes to a lot of this stuff, you gotta remember 85% of the studios from the early 2000s have probably either ceased production or the people who are on these shows probably have moved on to things that you've actually watched recently. So, it's a hit or miss, and animation is still relatively new as far as television goes. So it's not that out of the question that mishaps have happened. But I wouldn't say, as far as I could read, that there was really any issues. I could be wrong, but I did a quick Google and I couldn't find anything without digging, so. I'm just gonna go grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. I'll put the timer on, but I shouldn't be gone too long.